good?
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
We're in studio, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting at Command Center with me across. You know him, you love him. Forsaken Lake's own Daddy Eric. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Woke up breathing, so can't complain about too much.
Exactly. We're living. We're still here.
Yeah.
Another beautiful, beautiful day in paradise.
Right? Is that what this is?
That what this is? Yeah, nowadays, I don't know. No, we were here in studio because prior to that, we were recording a video that will be on the channel later on, so stay tuned for that. But you and I have been talking about doing a podcast now for like a couple years.
Yeah, at least since like Scary Farm began.
Yeah.
Like a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I first met you, we talked in person at a Street Food Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's for the Queen Mary sliders.
Yep. Over at Home Depot.
Yeah, we were all there chilling. We were all there just vibing, hanging out, and you and I were talking about the podcast in general because they had just been on the podcast. So now, all that time later, what was that, 2021? Now we're in 2025.
Yep.
We made it.
We did. That's amazingly enough.
We made it. Well, no, and on top of that, I feel like you've done so much since then, too. So it's like there's a lot to talk about, and there's going to be a good amount to talk about.
It's been a wild ride. I refuse to get in the box going, I wish I would have.
Okay.
It's...
Well, we'll stay away from that today.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of, if you hit a sore subject, I'll say ow.
Ow. Well, I want to talk about the beginning. Your love for Halloween and horror. How did that all start for you?
I was that generation of the silly Halloween costumes that came in the box with the vinyl,
right,
and the masks that would cut your chin because they were just, stupid plastic, Batman and Dracula. So Halloween was always an event,
right.
Going trick-or-treating. So I got into it, it was, at my house, it was always fun. As far as haunt goes, the first time I went to a haunt was Scary Farm.
Okay.
I don't know what year it was. The identifier for me was my mom took me and my brother at the time, which I don't know because I had to be maybe 12, 13 years old, which makes my brother like 10, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And we were walking out of Uncle Ernie's Madhouse.
Wow.
Which... for those of you who don't know, that was in what's CS. They used to have a fun house during the day that was Knott's Berry Tales themed.
Yes.
And used to go up, and they had walkways all over CS, elevated walkways that would go from this tree house that was over...
I do remember the tree house.
Over by where the Ferris wheel is, and they would go all the way up on top of the waterfalls, all the way over on top of where the balloons are. They had one of the most insane bungee positions in there. This tree house was maybe 2-3 stories, probably 3 if I was 10 years old, 2 if I'm my age now. But it was a death drop. This guy would drop from of elevated platform, come down, hit the bottom, and bungee back up to a platform. At that age, it could have been 50 feet. It was forever.
It sounds fun though.
If you're watching, if a guy nowadays I'm just going, oh, my knees, they're just toast. But we were walking out, and one of the butcher guys bumps me and looks at me, and he goes like this, and I took my hand out of my mom's hand, and he grabbed hers and started walking. She walked with that dude for a minute before she looked over and realized that yeah. And when her and I talk about Scary Farm and what I do, she always mentions that moment. So
that's like the highlight, right?
That was my first, my first trip, and it kind of haunt got under my skin.
So from then on, did you just start going every single year for you? Was that for how it was for you?
Yeah, I did. I went on my own, and I moved out of state for a while, and I joined the military. So I was away for a bit, and then but before all that, I was I was working at a gas station.
Nice.
Yeah, when I was like 14, 15 years old, child labor. This is back when we used to have to pump the gas. You know, you have to
Back
go
in
out.
the
Yeah,
day, go out
yeah,
and- yep.
exactly. I was a petroleum transfer technician to make it sound better.
Professional.
Yes, exactly. It's,
Yeah.
you know, just spread that nonsense on top, make it sound good. But two of the guys that worked there, the owner's sons, both worked at Scary Farm,
Okay.
and went that year, that October, and I was walking through a maze called Industrial Evil.
Okay.
This was a maze that was underneath. It was underneath Soapbox Racers. It was the entire track of Gasoline Alley.
Wow.
The cars. I mean, this maze went on forever.
Wow.
I was talking with Scott Dieterman one night. We were talking about the maze, and we were both said it's like so long. There's probably people still stuck in there somewhere. They just folded it up and put away. But it was great. It had a great soundtrack too. It was like Ministry and all this.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was.
The
You went
best
just
stuff.
Yeah, you just went for the music.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But it was just vignettes you walk through. But anyway, so as I'm walking at the end, there's one of those. Back in the day, it was one of those really high value haunt costumes. It was just burlap cloth and a rubber mask.
Yeah.
But this dude was sitting by a tree, and he gets up and starts walking next to me, and I'm there trying to impress this girl. I'm like, 14 years old, whatever. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and the monster goes, "Eric." That was it. I took off running. I hurdled the fence.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And that was it. That was like, I got to do that.
Yep. And that's what really, for you, that's what made you want to become
It did.
on the other side of it.
Yeah.
To be the monster now.
It did. And then I got into college. I was doing college. I was working at Disney, and one of my buddies there said, "Hey, we're gonna go audition for Scary Farm."
Okay. That was back in the day when you had to go out and camp out.
Exactly.
Yep.
Everybody was lined up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, you fit in this costume.
Yep.
And got in and did that for a while. That was getting into an interesting point in my life. Hit some rocky spots in there. And so I was at Knott's for a minute. Probably not the most memorable parts of my life.
Right.
Anybody that knows me, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a recovered alcoholic. Got 13 years sober.
Nice.
November 5th.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, it's if I can do it,
Anyone can do it.
yeah. But yeah, that was educational time in my life about myself. Especially standing on this side of it. But things being what they were, did that, and then ended up jumping aboard a ship in Long Beach.
Long Beach, California. One of my favorite cities in all of Southern California, right there.
And it was kind of a clean break for me, because that was also the first year that I was sober and scaring.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit it with a clear head, and there was a change. The change in me helped with what people saw. Mm-hmm. I was more present in things.
Right.
And I ran into a gentleman by the name of David Wally. He was the talent director at Dark Harbor. This man, I still consider him one of the best teachers I've had. He knew
I heard a lot of good things about him, honestly. I really do.
He knew how to treat people. He knew how to run a cast. Just 100% class act all the time.
Right.
Never saw him get angry. I mean, never. It was really
Always professional.
Yeah,
always
very
there.
to the T. I mean,
Right.
if he was unprofessional, it was
noticed
locked
it.
in a dark corner of his house
You would
when he got
notice it
yeah.
At that point, yeah.
And he brings out the best in people.
Right.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, even people that a lot of people go, well, that dude just sucks. It's like he knew how to extract.
Get to know the person.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Find the person, yeah.
And so he stuck me as a zombie the first year I was there. In a dark corner of what is now just torn down, the fishing village.
Oh man, rest in peace.
In the swamp, in the fishing village, with rats and cockroaches running over my toes, and It was no. There were some great moments in there. It was a fun little venue to cut my teeth on. It was the whole bottom, the whole floor was done in shredded tires.
That's cool.
So it gave that, if you were stepping on it, it felt swampy.
Yeah.
So when I had time in between groups in the maze, I get down and I bury myself in the tires right next to the path and wait for people to get, and I just launch out of there and they get hit with tires and all this.
All the freaking debris and everything.
Yeah, it was, you know, they'd go over the other side of the rope. I go, oh, WWF, scare. I almost said WWF and dated myself.
It's all right. We love the F.
Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. Some, you know, met some really good people there. You know, met, yeah.
So would you like to consider that first year at Harbor your kind of like your restart true first year?
That was
it for, that was what really took it off for you?
Yeah, that was when I really like it. Like I said, I was more present. It was, you know, it was the rebirth.
Yeah.
The afterbirth.
It seems like, because it seems like from what you're telling me, as far as just the little portions of things that you had, how much fun you were having with it. You know, just, you know, it seemed like with you kind of on this new journey at that point in your life, you were just trying to have fun with things, and it seems like you did have fun with it. You were doing the best that you can to the best of your ability.
It was, yeah. It was by choice at that time, I guess. A good way to put it, or
you like wanted to be there.
Yeah.
You know.
It was, yeah. Like I said, it's a really good group of people that was over there.
Haunt saves lives.
Not the, yeah. It's the, as I have often termed it, and anybody who knows me has heard me say this. It's the family that you didn't know that you needed.
Exactly, 100%. There's so many people that I've met in this community that I know I can go to any day for if I was in a crisis of some sort, that would be there for me, help me, or whatever. You know what I mean? There's so many people that I've met along this journey that just are some of the most kindest, coolest people of all time. So it's like, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So,
that was, I don't know, 2013, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'm horrible with dates. Ask anybody I've dated, anniversaries, forget it.
So
Birthdays.
2013 to 2019, were you at the original Dark Harbor?
At the original Dark Harbor.
Right. So you were there for the 10th then all the way. You made it all the way to the 10th. So 2013 you restart, 2014 and 13 now. Yeah. So
that second year, going into it, I get a phone call from Wally.
Okay.
Before off, he goes, I have a role for you.
Wow.
He goes, what do you think about, have you ever used a puppet? I said, wait, what? Do you ask everybody this question? You know what?
Am I special?
And he goes, let me send you a video. And he proceeds to send me this video of a guy at Midsummer holding a clown puppet.
Okay. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
And he, and this goes back to exactly what I said about David Wally before, how he's able to extract things and see things. And he goes, what do you think about that? And I just, instantly, being the actor, performer, I start having those doubts about, I've never done that before. I don't know. I said, let me call you back. Can I call you back? And he's, sooner rather than later. And I hung up the phone, and about 10 minutes later, I called him back because somewhere in the back of my head, the voice said, he sees something in you that you don't see in yourself.
Right.
So I called him back. I said, you know what? I'm going to trust you. I'll do it. He goes, great. And the plus side was I knew I was coming back to Dark Harbor before anybody else. Yeah. I just couldn't say anything. So that was the year that they reinvented Submerged into Lullaby.
Okay. So that was like the rebranded year for the Scary Mary.
That was Scary Mary's afterbirth as well.
Yep.
So I got in there and they handed me a Scary Mary puppet that was full size.
They took it and decked it out.
Yeah, they decked it out.
It
looked.
Those.
Yep. And
so good.
I was luckily I am lucky to have jobs that I love.
Right.
I have through my other job I had connections with Aquarium of the Pacific.
Okay.
And one of the monsters at Dark Harbor was the young lady that created Pacific Pals at Aquarium of the Pacific, which is their puppet show.
Okay.
She's look her up. Her name's Sarah Berman. She's big time now.
Okay. Good
And
for her.
yeah, she's like big. She's got her own puppet show. She's worked with Michelle Obama on this stuff. She is big
her.
time. So, kudos for her. You helped me get this together. You helped create
And
this
it was
monster.
one that was in the industry, man.
Yeah, and
as
she
a
was
monster.
She was a street monster at Dark Harbor at
There
that
it
point.
is.
And she gave me some pointers on how to use this thing, and but the fun part, and I'm probably one of the more twisted backstories at Dark Harbor at that point. Mm-hmm. So if anybody went and remember, the first room of Lullaby that you went into was a child's funeral.
Yep.
I
remember watching footage of it to see all the videos about it, and because I didn't go to Dark Harbor until 2019, but I did doing videos and wanting to see the event in the past. Looking back at the history, I do remember that because they did kept the mazes a couple years the same too.
Yeah, so we just like right into the deep end there. Here, have a little blonde girl in a casket and a priest. And they were eulogizing Mary and how she was a wondrous child and all this, and then she kind of turned south and did some bad things, and her dad, which was my character, to punish her, took her down to the pool and drowned her.
Perfect with that puppet character too.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, that was the maze at that point probably had 20 young ladies dressed as Mary. So one of the cool things was you couldn't go 5 feet in this maze without having Mary in your
100%.
face. Yeah.
Bam,
Yeah.
bam,
Yeah.
Every corner.
And because of the character and the relationship, a few of them, God bless them, started calling me Daddy.
And that's where
that's where that came from. I'd be walking through the maze or whatever, Daddy. So everybody thinks it means something. And no, it doesn't.
It's a Dark Harbor.
It's a Dark Harbor reference. It's not what everybody thinks it is. It's become. I even just recently I had a young lady walk up to me out of the blue. I will never call you by your haunt name. And I'm like, I didn't ask you to.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's like no one's asking you to.
Yeah. But on the other hand, if there was an issue, I was always the last monster in the maze, and one of the girls would walk up to me and go, Daddy, this guy did bad or said bad things to me. So there was also a dynamic that
I was
it got me to be very protective of the young ladies that I worked with.
Yeah.
So 3 years in Lullaby and many, many daddies later, I ended up in the Hall of Fame at Dark Harbor.
Nice.
Somewhere it was 2 years or 3 years.
You're like a real life BioShock right there.
Yeah.
With
So
Big
that
Daddy and little girl.
Well, it was funny though, because it's like I never realized that was going to be the haunt name that stuck. There were a few not nice ones before from that prior life.
Right.
But I realized when I was getting put in the Hall of Fame and I looked at the entire cast standing behind me, I'm standing on this little stage, and everybody's out there chanting Daddy, Daddy. The Queen Mary Slider team. Rampage is standing right behind me, Daddy, and I'm just like, oh crap. All right,
it's stuck.
Yep.
That's it.
So yeah.
So that was what 14, 15, and 16 you did.
Right.
Lullaby.
And then they changed the storyline there, and they moved me over into Dead Rise with the rest of the boys.
Okay, so that was what, 2017?
No, it was 18.
18, okay.
It's 2018.
18.
That was fun because I was in one of the last two parts. I was a skeleton in a white sailor suit in a fog room.
Was there anything challenging about bringing that to life, or the makeup artist took care of it?
The makeup artist actually, pretty much, with very few exceptions, every makeup artist that I have encountered in the haunt community in Southern California is top notch.
Very talented.
Yes.
And I see it. You see a bunch of different looks.
Yeah.
Every haunt, very talented.
Yeah. I mean, what they can crank out in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes doing two faces at once.
Yeah. It is insane the time lengths these people have.
Yeah.
But they get it done.
And it does. And it's great. I mean,
yeah.
But it was kind of funny. We're in a shipping container. There's 2 fog machines in there, and we can't see
Nothing.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, we learn how to work it. We turned that thing out towards the end of the run. We were not exactly following the rules. There were a lot of monsters in there, some that may or may not have been on break or should have been on break. But there were points where in those 2 shipping containers at the end, there were probably 12, 13, 14 monsters. It was
In those containers alone.
Yeah, it was a meat grinder.
Oh my god.
And you couldn't go 2 feet in that thing without. And being in that white costume, that white face, I could get right next to somebody. And that's
I would know.
I think that's where I perfected that ability that I have to be able to get
To blend in.
to right next to somebody and
Yeah.
them never know it.
And you're terrifying. I mean, if you've seen him in Forsaken Lake, it is terrifying. There's been nights where I don't even know he's next to me, and then I turn around and he's just standing right there. Turns out he's been walking with me like the last 5 minutes. Didn't even know. And meanwhile, he's getting little scares here and there, but he's still following me. Like
I like the big ones.
exactly. And I'm the big one. But no, you are fantastic at that. So to learn that you kind of that's where you first really perfected it with that.
And then learning how to do it in the open.
Yeah.
Then and all this time I'm kind of banking this stuff, these things I've learned. And even going back to, even when I was dressing up as a clown at the house before I started doing haunt and scaring people as they came up to the front door.
Stuff,
yeah, exactly. And it was it was all that build up to this. So after Dead Rise, I think it was Johnny Plague that did Rogue.
Yes, that was in 2019.
19. And they moved us into it into Rogue, which was challenging.
That was an interesting one.
Well, the challenge, and it was difficult on me like the first weekend, because we weren't dead.
Yeah,
we weren't monsters.
You were dying.
Yes,
we were
about. And I found out, I love the Queen Mary lore I picked up. I actually, I worked for the Queen in off season for the 7 years I was there as an event supervisor.
Okay.
For the operations department.
So you got to hear some of the stories,
chills and
all
concert
that,
and all that stuff. Rogue was interesting. Rogue One, the premise of it, of the ship being flipped over, was interesting. But the fun part about that particular incarnation of Dark Harbor was most of the mazes were based on a true fact about the ship or a haunting that occurred on the ship.
Right.
Graceful Gale being the white ghost, and there was Soulmate, or you had Scary Mary being Jack B340, right?
Yeah.
Dead Rise was the HMS Curacao that got split in half.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue, oddly enough, and I didn't know this going into this, the Queen Mary at one point was hit by a rogue wave in real life. And she almost capsized. She was 3 degrees from capsizing.
And it flipped back
and
over.
flipped back over
Damn.
with troops on her.
Wow.
One of those troops was the guy that wrote the Poseidon Adventure.
Okay.
So he took that experience and turned it in the
feature film.
The feature film. That's
the
why
one
she.
with Kurt Russell, right?
No, that's the second one. The original one was Gene Hackman.
Yeah. I've seen the Kurt Russell one. And then, the Gene Hackman one. I remember seeing the Gene Hackman one because I remember seeing his, y'all stay here and die. And he does that whole big speech at the end. And
Leslie Nielsen plays the captain in a very serious role that's, don't call him Shirley.
Yeah, that movie. This is why I don't want to go on any cruises now, because all these ship movies.
Yes. I wouldn't want to go on them just because of all these, Carnival cruise. I don't feel like getting Ebola.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, but no, I actually thought that maze that year was effects-wise terrific. The story was great. That was one of the secret bars I got to go in. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. But I thought for me, what really was the selling point was that climax, that ending, where it was like the bubble pit.
Yeah.
But like it was like the symbolism of it sinking more and more and stuff. Like that was really cool. I can only imagine it was just a mess to keep up with, but
it was, like I said, it was still, so the challenge, and there were other people that had a little bit more difficulty with it, because you're so, if you do it long enough, you're so dependent on makeup, or you're so, you find out you got Frankenstein hanging next to you, that's what Karloff brought to that, you know, we were talking about this earlier on the thing we were recording. It transcended that makeup, but you still, there's a certain amount that brings to it. And everybody is, you know, you're so used to, you know, having that visual that my makeup was a bruised cheek and some blood coming out of my mouth, and that was it. I was
You're still like a sailor.
I was in a khaki uniform with a garrison cap. We used to call them something else.
I call them the In-N-Out hats.
Yeah. I'm not gonna use the word on the So getting into that thing of being frightening.
Right.
Not being scary, being frightening. Took a second. And then I was given a little leeway with the makeup, made it a little more bloody, a little more creepy. I started channeling my drill instructor. I was in the wheelhouse of this maze. So I'm with the captain. You're looking out the windows, the waves coming over. And my job was to get the people down below so they didn't get washed off the deck. You know? So I'm sitting there. I've got slider gloves on and this thing. I'm smacking everything metal. I'm cursing at guests. Get your effing ass inside. Get below. I'm yelling right in their face. Just run. I mean, they're not expecting. Like
full blown.
And Wally comes walking through town, and I'm sitting there. I'm just. Get your fucking asses down below right now. Move, so you got molasses in your butt. You better. And he just kind of looked at me and went, and walked through. I was like, oh. You know, because it wasn't
off-brand of the character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wasn't cussing, you know, at people. I was cussing at people.
Yeah, you were doing a character. You were a bit.
And it wasn't every other word. It wasn't as bad as I made it.
It was just like every now and then. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you were constantly saying it all night. It was just like when it felt needed for the story to do it. Or the time.
Yeah.
That maze was so good, man. I love that maze.
And it helped me understand that being a monster, and I'll get into my I have a crowbar separation between scare actor and monster.
Right.
And it's not one's better than the other. I think that there's a crowbar separation in the job description. But it helped me understand that being scary is not just getting somebody to jump and scream and run.
Right.
It helped me understand that being frightening, startling people, being creepy, all these other things are different facets that you can use.
Yeah.
There's
so many tools to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that became a thing, and the whole time I'm doing this at Dark Heart, I'm popping out of the maze on occasion and running around on streets with the Queen Mary slider team.
Nice.
So that was.
And then from there, did they start noticing that, and you got a little bit more leniency, freedom to go out there and help them out?
Exactly.
And that's how that relationship gets started there, right?
And I was. So that was 2019. Matter of fact, the last. We didn't know. Nobody knew that last night in 2019 was going to be the last night
of Dark Harbor period.
Yeah. That was, you know, of anything. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, the whole world changed.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, pardon me for being a little off color, but if you don't think one person can change the world, somebody ate a bat.
For real though.
No,
for real though.
But
yeah. No, but like. You're right, because then within a few months after that, even as low as 2 months after that.
That was that March. Everything was locked down.
Everything was locked down, but like you started hearing stuff in like December, November. You know what I mean? Little whispers of what's going on, and then March, just the lockdown happened.
My partner and I, we were at Disneyland the day before lockdown.
I think I was too.
Yeah.
Or the weekend before. At least.
No, we were like
and there was hand sanitizer stations everywhere.
Yep.
Bro.
Nobody was wearing masks. Everybody was like kind of but
everybody was kind of still on the edge. Still, you could tell there was a little unease at the parks. You know, so. The last thing I did before lockdown is I went to go see Invisible Man and The Hunt in theaters. I love the movies, so like when everything was closed, like that was the one thing that hurt me more than anything was the closure of movie theaters.
You're gonna be jealous of me. We'll go back in a second. Let me. So that was the last day, and it was fun because I was on streets.
Right.
My partner and I were on streets together, both as clowns. I got to do my Day of the Dead makeup that I had pioneered the year before. Didn't know it. She got into the Hall of Fame that year too. So that last night was just really, everything was really, really cool.
It was a good night. Yeah, it was a good end of the year, good end of the season.
Yep.
Memorable one for sure.
So that was, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
But my pandemic movie thing, our friend Brad happened to be friends with Mr. Bozeman of Saw fame.
Wow.
And we got to go see this wasn't like right as it started, but we ended up going to see a private screening of Spiral.
Wow.
With him up at City Walk.
That
was
at the movie theater right there.
At the movie theater right there.
That's a good movie. That's such a beautiful.
And it was just there was like 20 of us in this theater.
In the big old theater, yeah.
Exactly. It was like 6 seats apart.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like spreading out and shit. That's fucking awesome.
I'm sitting there in a Billy mask.
Dude, it was when I went for my real quick side tangent for that. In order for me to go see a movie, I had to go visit my buddy Sammy in Arizona because Arizona had stuff open. Yeah. And at the time, the movie that was playing and the movie that I wanted to see was Chris Nolan's movie. What was it called? The one with Robert Pattinson and Denzel's kid. What was it called? Oh man, I can't remember it. Tenet.
Okay.
Tenet.
I was gonna say
Tenet had just dropped, and I remember reading about like Warner Bros. And him had this big old dispute of releasing it, and I was like, I got to see this movie in theaters. So then I went to go visit him, and I was like, while we're in town, we're going to see movies in theaters. Like, I need to go to the theaters. Went to the Alamo Draft House out there. It was amazing, bro. Best theater, because there was like 3 of us in the theater. It was awesome. But yeah, I absolutely love. So when the pandemic happened and everything closed, what the biggest thing for us, question mark wise, was, is there going to be a Not Scary Farm this season? Are we going to be okay to come back? Is there going to be a Dark Harbor coming back? Is there going to be a Halloween Horror Nights? Everyone was doing construction.
Yeah, but
we didn't know until we got the bad news about it. So,
well, I mean, it's a bad compare. I mean,
yeah.
Where would we be if things had not happened that way? I mean,
more like sad news.
Yeah,
sad news.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a part of those who are in the community or in the part, especially here in Southern California, because it's such a big thing out here. Southern California is Halloween Central.
It is. It is like I would say this would be like the, what would be the term that I'm looking for? The
epicenter.
Epicenter, yeah, that's a good one. But like, what do they call it? Like, it's the capital. Yeah. It's the capital of Halloween right here. Yeah,
I mean, for those of you who are catching this that you don't live or you've never been to Los Angeles, you drive down the freeways and there's massive Halloween club.
Yeah.
There's stores that are open 24 hour, 20,
any
12.
Yeah. Building, any abandoned Sears is going to be a freaking Spirit Halloween.
Yep.
Massive billboards advertising the haunts. Like, you're going to see it all in Southern California.
And they go all year. There are haunted events that go 12 months out.
Escape rooms that are all year round. They're going to be opening one in Las Vegas. Halloween Horror Nights is opening one year round.
That's going to be over by Meow, whatever, over on the north side. That's going to be an interesting. I wonder.
I'm excited. I hope they can make it work.
I think I think the dynamic of having fresh tourists
cycling out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Every weekend you've got million new people.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, look at the events that come through, like F1, Super Bowl, WrestleMania, like hockey, all these concerts. Yeah. So it's like, you're gonna have.
They got baseball now. You got the whatever A's are gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they call
the Las Vegas, whatever.
Las Vegas Athletics, probably. You got so much stuff there. Paul McCartney's gonna be playing there pretty soon. I want to go see him. I'm gonna try to go see him if the tickets are cheap enough. So, so 2020 though, did you do any of the tasting events? Because they did have a few of those, like Taste of Halloween. Those were a lot of fun.
Actually, I got into I went back into something I had dabbled in before. I got into costume building.
Okay.
Like big stuff. You've seen some of the stuff that I've built.
I've seen you.
Those big big Mad Max looking costumes, and my partner and I, we just stuck around the house that Halloween. We put a cauldron out in the front with candy, and she sat there, and I kind of hung out in the front yard off to the side. And there were people trick or treating, and we kept
That's
it
good.
as socially distant because it's once again those kids, and we'll get into this. Those kids, this is the next generation of us,
Right.
and it was kind of funny because I'm standing there in this costume that. Oh God, I'm 42 inches wide and probably 6'3", 6'4".
With the costume
yeah, with the
on,
costume
yeah.
on. Right now, I mean, if I stand up, I'm like between 5'7" and 5'9", depending
So that
on what
shows you how
7-Eleven
much-
I'm walking out of.
That shows you how much he freaking added
yeah.
onto it, though. That's why.
I got boots that make Gene Simmons jealous. And I'm just standing there, and like the kids would come up, and they're fine. I'm just standing super slow because I don't want to scare the little kids.
Right.
And the parents would walk by, and they'd look at me, and they go, "Oh shit, you're real," and take
I love
off.
that.
It's just,
When they don't know you're real, and then they find out you're real. It's hilarious to me.
but yeah, we just had a nice little old school kind of Halloween that year.
It's always good.
And then
I will be honest though, and I know I wasn't the only one that thought it, but 2020's Halloween. Yeah, I stayed home too. I watched movies, but it was just my neighborhood was just quiet, and it was just kind of depressing. You know what I mean? Like, and I know a lot of people felt the same way because like Halloween, especially for our community, it's spanning over 2-3 months. You know, and then for a lot of people it's year round. Yeah. You know, and it's like that's why I was happy when things like Halloween Depot started popping up. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like when that started popping up, I'm like, this is kind of like the slow faith to humanity of like, okay, we're gonna slowly start doing things again. Like that for me, I think was. I don't think if Halloween Depot would have done what they've done in SoCal, I don't think a lot of things would have started shifting and circulating.
I think it was just as people got past the uncertainty, the fear of not knowing. I mean, they started getting out of their house.
Yeah.
They started understanding that I don't have to be afraid of my neighbor, or I know how to navigate this safely.
Yeah. Because when we get into 2021 now, they got more of an understanding of it. Now they're starting to roll out the vaccines and stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But 2021, though, because of all that, we were able to get haunt season back that year. So that was an interesting year because the one haunt that didn't open that year, obviously, for a lot of people, which was a shock, was Dark Harbor.
Yeah. There was, and it was, it was rough for me because at that point the Queen Mary was going through
a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
there were physical issues with her. I mean, it's like any other boat. Anybody that's owned one knows boat stands for bust out another 1,000. In this case, it's the hundreds and tens of thousands. There were some legal issues that were so nothing was coming back. The concerts,
So
it
was all just undetermined.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going
to She was locked in.
Yeah.
And justifiably so. Don't get me wrong. It was. I mean, there were safety issues that needed to be addressed, from what I understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I kind of looked around and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give Knox a chance. I didn't.
So this was for you. This was the first time since that first year that you tried, huh?
Yeah. Well, this was it was going back. So it was video auditions.
Yeah, I remember that.
That
I
was
was talking to a lot of people about. They're like, we gotta submit our videos for this. I'm like, wait, what? They want you guys to do video auditions?
Video auditions.
Did they send them? You like post them on YouTube or something?
Well, no, they had a site, and they gave you the thing. It's like, okay, you want to do this, that, and then you could re-record it. And by the way, whenever I'm doing a video audition, first takes only.
First takes only.
Yeah, it's especially for something like Haunt, because it's such an organic thing. First takes only for me. It may not work for you. That's just me, because the way my head works, I'll tweak it until it's broke.
Yeah. I mean, we were doing the thing right now, and I that's why I was constantly asking you. I'm like, what did you feel about that? Like, how did you feel?
Yep.
What did you think? Like, that's how I usually approach things. Is like, I want to be as collaborative as possible.
Yeah.
Like, did you like that take? How did you feel? You know what I mean? But I get what you mean. First
Yeah.
take's possible, and we recorded a couple first takes where you were just like, that's it.
Yeah, usually when we had to go back, it was because I said friction and not fiction. I mean,
it was just like minor word mispronunciation. But like, if we hit a first take and we hit a few of them recording, you were just like, no, I'm good with that. Let's keep going. I'm like, okay.
That
but
just the
2021, man, that was the video auditions, which was very new to I think everybody at that point. I don't think anybody's ever really done something like that.
If you've done acting or something like that, I mean, you've had to send in video or stuff like that before.
But for like
haunt community, totally.
It's like you used to doing it in person.
Yeah, so I went out in the backyard with my laptop, set it up and started doing the thing, and no audience until I realized that my partner is looking over the kitchen door like this. I'm sitting there trying to be serious and spooky and scary. And I see these blue eyes. I'm like, and I can see the cheeks because she's
the Rockwell music in their head playing. I always feel like someone's watching me.
And so I did the thing. One of them, it's always about choices. My head's wired a little bit different than most people. My friends will probably tell you it's a lot different. But one of the things that they asked for was a vampire game show host. Which everybody...
That'd be intriguing for a maze. They should do something like that. A vampire game show?
That was kind of... They had the vampire nightclub at the end of Club Blood back in the day. Yeah, that was...
Do a game show, but then that goes terribly wrong.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. Well,
So they... but I took that as... rather than going with a vampire doing a game show, I went Wink Martindale. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the first game show for vampires.
The whole voice and everything.
Many people will tell you this show sucks. Just exactly. Yeah. And I went down that road. For some reason, I heard vampire game show host.
Yeah.
Not vampire game show host.
Yeah. So then you just do it. Yeah. But I mean, so you send that in, obviously, and you finally hear back. And the role they give you, I think, honestly, it was a great role.
It was the springboard for where I am now. I was cast into Origins as the Line Monster, the Undertaker for Calico, Phineas Myron.
It's just, if anyone got to see his adaptation of it, it was fucking phenomenal.
And just wandered around. Started out wandering around the line. That was that was fun. It changed the way I scared, especially being on streets, having streets experience, but being in a line.
Yeah.
Where you're very conscious of having people behind you, where everybody is. It's a different way. It's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's a very claustrophobic way to scare.
Would you say you'd have to also have a lot of patience doing it too?
You have to have a lot of patience being on streets in general. Mm-hmm. It's one of my hang-ups. I'm very aware of my shortcomings. Somebody does something, it's my Irish nature to get my teeth into them, and what I want to say and do, it's just, I actually made a sticker for Forsaken Lake last year that says Forsaken Lake, just walk away.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure if just walk away was instructions for the guests or the monsters.
But it's on there.
Yeah. Do I always listen to that advice? No. But I am only human at least
and that's
10 months out of the year.
That's the reality of the show. That's my mission statement for the show, is like to show that side. Mm-hmm. Is that every time anybody watching or any guest goes up to you guys, they only ever see the one side of you guys. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm fortunate enough to get to know you guys outside of season, outside of Haunt, where I get to know you guys as the people you are. And it's a lot of fun.
You know this better than a lot of people. The last thing you want to do on stage with me is get into a conversation.
No, trust me. Like
it goes down rabbit holes really fast.
Yeah, it does. It really does. That, and then just... And I feel like this is another thing too about you. You're really hard to make mad, but when you are mad, it's scary. So like, just don't piss you off. It's not that hard to do. It's just if you're doing your shit and you're chill, like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cross a line or anything like that. But like I said, I'm very protective of my coworkers.
Oh, 100%. And you have to be in this business because of how people are.
There's one of those stickers that I made the first year I was in Forsaken, said "Get out of my cemetery," and everybody knew that when they heard very quiet, if anybody's encountered my character, my voice is very much down here. You really can't hear it. We have very intimate interactions with Bastion. And when they hear that booming, "Get out of my cemetery," they know that somebody pissed me off and I'm chasing them out of the zone. You see me, who's normally moving at half the speed of Stench, tearing out after somebody.
Well, now now I definitely, I mean, because you said that it was because of the Origins role that really sets you up for this next role.
So the
because I love that. I mean, because everything you're telling me right now is like I saw a lot of the times in Origins when you did that little one-on-one intimate kind of conversation, whispering, and then you would blow up on them if you had to or you wanted to.
Well, I was actually very. Origins was fun to be in. That was very fun because I was afforded a lot of different opportunities.
We just talked about one recently that I thought was funny.
There's afforded a lot of different opportunities. There was one night they were joking around that I was Scareforce for Origins. So the line monster is not, the Undertaker outside is not a character that was consequential to the storyline of Origins. There's other stuff that's in the queue or in the maze itself that help with that storyline, and that is, at the end of the day, a maze is a story. It's an immersive storyline that you're walking through, and the talent inside is there to help you through that storyline.
Right.
And if you're nice to them and you pay attention and you're not, you'll actually have a very entertaining experience aside from getting scared. Yeah,
I always do.
So there was one night I was backstage and we were about to open. And this is the story you're talking about. We were about 15, 20 minutes out, and they walked up to me because my costume, I like to think it was just because of my costume, but I know it was because, once again, somebody saw something in me that I didn't see myself. They walk up to me, and this was an old guy. I'm not going to drop names, but there's a guy, one of the directors.
We'll just name him Guy.
Guy. Yeah, for this guy. Guy walks up to me and goes, "Hey, the mayor, plural,
mayors
are not here. You're the mayor tonight. I'll be back in a few moments with a boom mic and your script." This is 10 minutes before we open.
So Guy rushes back and goes and gets boom mic and
Guy
script.
goes in, and it's like 7 pages. I look at Guy and went, "You need to give me bullet points. I'm good.
10 minutes.
I'm not. Yeah. So give me the bullet points." So he gave me the bullet points. And I said, "You know what?" I said, I didn't want to make a demand on it, so I said, "Hey, I have an idea. Can I do this?" And I laid out the scenario for him. And he goes, looks me right in the face and goes, "Only if I'm there." And I went, "Done." So I go out on stage.
So where you were standing when he would show back up, when he said he was going to show back up, could you see him?
Oh, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you knew
So
when he was
I'm standing out in front of this maze, in front of the Red Barn, on the gallows.
Right.
Which is 10, 15 feet up in the
and
air.
you can see it off from the
Oh,
midway
yeah,
right there.
yeah. It's and I'm up there, and I'm riffing at this point. I'm just talking about, Calico used to be a town where you could, the windows weren't boarded up, and you used to be able to walk around. And I was talking about, when my father, I was like talking about experiences that I had in the real coming to knots as a child, because just trying to articulate things to say to the crowd. I've got, the entire queue, 5, 6, 700,000 people, however many people are in this line, in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm up. I feel like I'm doing stand-up, which I was. I mean, I'll tell you, there were a couple kids that got put in their place as hecklers. They opened up their mouth, and I was like, "You see that building behind you? It's a schoolhouse. You should try going into one sometime." And like all the parents are
It's like, thank you.
It's people are like, has anybody seen Sarah Marshall? And people would inevitably point at their girlfriend. I know somebody who's sleeping in the barn tonight.
But you have fun with it. You got to have fun with it, and that's what I loved about it.
And so I'm up there, and I'm talking about, one of the riffs I did was, there's a creek that runs next to Boot Hill over there, and it used to be, so they moved Panning for Gold from where it is now, to over there, and then they moved it back. But it used to be, and like I said, I can remember when I went panning for gold, when my dad brought me to Calico for the first time.
And you actually went panning for gold there.
Yeah, right there. And I'm talking, I still have that jar full of gold that we found that very first day I came to Calico. And I do. I still have that jar of gold sitting there.
It's funny you're telling truth, but
yeah.
mixing it into fiction.
And everybody's going, oh, what a swell story. And no, it's the truth. So I'm up there, and I see Guy walk up, and I kind of changed the flow of my thing about how since Sarah Marshall came about, that Calico had become this dark place, and it's all boarded up, and you can't walk around at night without looking over your shoulder. And there was a time, a great time in Calico, where great men stood upon these very gallows here and riled the town up to go hunt this witch. And that battle cry were a few simple words. And I'm going to ask you those words. Good citizens of Calico, are you ready for a hanging? And
Dude.
half the crowd went, ah! And the other half went, what? And I said, I'm boom mic'd, and I just let it loose. I said, I was pathetic. And I'm watching Guy over here, and he
Just losing it.
he looks like Venom. The smile was so big. He's, good people of Calico, are you? And everybody, people in Ghost Town started screaming. The whole crowd lost their mind.
Mind you, for anyone that didn't know, 2021 was the year they did not have the hanging show. They kind of like put it off break after 2019. So there was no hanging show in 2021.
That was the end of the hanging. That was like the rest in peace.
That was supposed to be it.
Yeah.
Like, but then the 50th came around. They're like, well, we kind of got to bring it back.
So 13-year-old Hunt me, who was watching the hangman up there get chased around by Freddy Krueger back in the day, standing up there, being able to say this on a gallows
Who's gonna hang this year?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Just, I mean, I went backstage. I was doing cartwheels, you know, just to be able to say that I got to say, you know, those words at Not Scary Farm. That was.
You know how many people like fans would love to do that?
Oh, dude, you can count the people that did that on like one hand that said that. You know?
Oh yeah.
And it was humbling to be able to be able to do that, and
especially on a year where a lot of people missed it.
Right, and it was as much for it was. At that point, it was probably more for them than it was for me.
Yeah.
So that was, and then it just kind of became a joke because that year we also had some people in there. So I'm in a very generic costume, vest and long coat and rifle coat, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
And top hat.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden we have problems with guys playing Judge Roy Bean. So I start doing the judge position on our occasion. So I'm out here and then I'm in there. And then there's this wonderful night where the banker's gone.
Oh.
So one of the mayors was late. So I was the mayor for the opening set. So I went from being the Undertaker to the mayor. And then the banker dropped for some reason. So I went inside the maze into the banker position, which I had done before. So it's not big. And then the judge dipped. For some reason, I don't know what. It's haunt, things happen.
Yeah.
So they said, well, the banker's not really needed, so we need you up here in the judge. So I'm on position 4 in one night, and then for reasons, I ended up switching with the guy that was in the room, in the judge's room, and he went up and did the judge for a while. And I was outside, so I did 5 roles in one night. Origins.
You were Scare Force.
I was Scare
man.
Force Origins.
Scare Force Origins, man.
And one of the managers walked through and goes, "What are you doing here now?" I'm like, "It's
where they keep putting it.
I'm where I need to be."
Yeah, they just tell me to go here. I go. Yep. It's like that is what it is.
The show must go on.
So, looking back at like all that, do you think that really prepared you to step into Forsaken Lake? Because the next year you would go into Forsaken Lake, right?
Yep. The next year,
22 till 24, obviously, right now.
Yep. I went in and so it was callback auditions. And I did the thing, and I actually went in as an atmosphere character.
Okay.
So a little bit more of a photo op-y interactive thing. Mm-hmm. And all this stuff that I had picked up, this rapport of these different types of scares, of being, looking at our job as a monster.
Right.
So let's go back a little bit. Going back to that mayor character.
Right.
Scare actor. Up on stage, telling a story, being spooky aggressive about it.
It's character work.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Scare actor. Running around in the maze as the banker. I'm a freaking monster. I'm there to get you.
On the gallows, scare actor.
Yeah.
There you go.
And like I said, we're both doing the same job, but that for me, that's where that crowbar separation is. So it's 99% of the time, I'm a freaking monster.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're super good at character work too when you need to pull it out.
Oh, it's fun, and that's where it gets into. That's where I enjoy getting into people, and that's where I enjoy working with other monsters. That's a big thing for me, especially leading up to Haunt. Is I love helping monsters people who are auditioning for the first time, or monsters that are going for a new role, or things like that. I love helping them out.
QM boot camp, come down now. Whenever the date is. No, but I'm serious because like at the boot camps, you do go into detail. Like if people want to work on character, you will pull people aside, and those handful of characters, you'll work one-on-one with all of them. And you'll get in their heads and like, okay, what are you thinking? Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to approach it? This is how you should go about it. Like I've seen you sit and talk with people and give all the.
I mean, and right now I'll put it out there. If it's still before Haunt when this goes up, and you want to, just DM me.
Yeah.
You know, I have no. I'm about. I live a half hour away from Chapman Sports Park.
Just meet up and then just work on character work there. You know what I mean? It's so simple.
It's fun. It's you know, I look at it as, you know, I've been doing this a while.
Right.
A lot of the people that I work with were in diapers when I started.
Right.
You know, it's scary. I was standing there last year talking to somebody. I'm looking at 3 generations of people that I worked with. Somebody who's working now, and then their
kid, right?
Yeah.
I know it's insane sometimes to see that. I'm like, and it's even getting to that point where now we're getting to like generations. But I like to see the new generation. I'm always curious, man, because like Knott's does it great too. It's like when you get the old with the new and you put them together. There's something special about it.
Oh yeah, it works.
A lot of the times,
it works so. And I'll tell you what, I will say it. I say it to the new kids all the time. All you gotta do is keep up with Daddy.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, I'll run circles around your ass.
And you do. You're quick, man. You are.
When I need to be, yeah.
You are quick, and you're just in and out of shadows like crazy. I wouldn't even know you were there. One of the things you did with a few of the people that I saw was there's obviously in Forsaken Lake that I love to see is they have obviously little props around the area to make it more of the lake, and hiding in between the shadows in the middle of the zone because it's nothing but shadows.
Yeah.
Talk to me about you know, you talked about doing that in a crate wearing all white. Now you actually have shadows, and I mean it's probably 10 times easier.
It's the same deal. It's
now it's just bigger.
Well, this is where you get really under. I have dual degrees in behavioral science.
Okay.
So
you know how to read people.
They're not only read people, but I understand stuff that they don't understand about themselves.
Right.
So there's things that I do. If you know, I'm not going to let all the cats out of the bag, but the way that I talk,
right,
the way that I carry myself,
right.
There's things that I do that just they trigger thoughts and feelings in people that they're not used to, and immediately ramps things up, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
So I don't, you know, there's a lot of people that are really, really good at scaring. Bastion very much wants to linger in your mind. It's not about what's happening now. It's down the road.
Right.
Eric, you know, I may run into you this year. That's great. I want you next year you come back when you see me to go, oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not that dude.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'll tell you, I am noticeable in the lake.
Right.
I am, you know,
And you know what? And rightfully so, because you actually are, right now, I would say you are the face character of the lake because of the lantern and stuff. There's many face characters of the lake, and everyone is actually, if you look at it, stand out-ish on their own thing, so like you can notice. But like every time I watch that show, when you guys performing and everything, you're the one that does the monologue at the end. You're the one that raises the lantern. You're the one that's the photo op at the end usually. I know
Well, of course, yeah. The gravedigger comes up there, and there's there's been, since I've been there, there's been 2 different guys that've done it,
right.
and both are great monsters, great
100%.
scare actors.
No, I'm not just saying.
No,
it's just all about you. No. But like, I've seen you. I mean, that you do put a lot of work, and then everyone else in that zone. I will say this, in 2023, that was my favorite scare zone, all time. Yeah.
Well, it's it's great. I love it when I hear people say that about the lake.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is people go to Ghost Town.
Yeah.
People go to Carnival.
Yeah.
People go to Gauntlet to go see the Slider show.
Uh-huh.
People find themselves in the lake.
Yeah. It's just kind of a nice accident.
Yeah, it's in, what we have as a cast in the lake over the past 3 years, because there was a point where there was a purge for whatever reason. That's
higher
this,
up.
That's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
That cast that came in, we have turned the lake into what it is now.
I can full-heartedly 100% say that is 1,000% true, because of the fact that when I came into 2022 versus when I came into 2023, there was a drastic difference in feel, change, attitude, just overall the identity of that whole zone. There was just a different vibe to it in the best way possible. That carried on to 2024. It was very hard for me to choose a favorite scare zone for 2024 because, Carnival did really well, but then I would go to Gauntlet, I would go to freaking Forsaken, I would go to so it was really hard for me to settle on just one in 2024 because everyone was kicking ass.
And you shouldn't have to. It's very it's very much like a vaudeville show. It's what's your particular flavor at that moment. And the cool thing about the way that management disperses people and really puts people where they be is you can do just laps around the farm, and you'll see a different show every time you go into each zone.
And I do every single night. Yeah, that's my favorite thing is walking around and then you don't know what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've walked into Forsaken and I've watched you guys terrorize people, and it's the funniest thing ever. And then I walk into Forsaken and then the show's playing. You know what I mean? Like, and then I'll walk into Forsaken, it's a little bit more calmer. You know what I mean? So it depends.
Well, our vibe is very much a slow burn.
It kind of sucks in. I will say this: the 2 zones, in my opinion, that I think get screwed out of audiences the most is Forsaken Lake and the Gauntlet, and that's because in Forsaken Lake you don't really. It's more. I mean, it is a place where you can split off and go to multiple places and get to multiple places, but there's not really there for people to stay long enough, like a maze. You know what I mean?
But
you guys do a great job of keeping people wanting.
But then, if we had a maze there, we would lose the great question of where's Silver Bullet?
Yeah. Gee, I wonder. I mean, you see it right when you walk at the damn park.
Where's Silver Bullet? I think was a bigger joke around our zone ever than the barrel ever was.
That's got to be it. You got to make that a sticker.
Yeah,
where's Silver Bullet?
Where's Silver? I think somebody did.
That's a funny one.
It's so that's, but yeah, it's that slow thing, that repertoire that I've managed to build up, where it's I have that ability to pull that scary, that super aggressive, and to be able to impose myself upon somebody built like you.
No, and it works. It really does.
But my favorite thing is to sit there and chit chat with people.
Oh,
it pisses management off. Because they come up. You need to be scaring. Oh, trust me, I was scaring.
I mean, like, no, I was learning the story. He was telling me the whole story. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't understand this at all.
I mean, like the stuff that you do. Yeah,
that's what I would just say to them. I've had moments where you and I chit chat every now and then, and I ask you, you'd be like, "What time is it?" I'd be like, "It's 11:30."
No, I mean, I had, was he last year before, I was standing near the photo shop, and there were these 2 young ladies, teenage young ladies, twins.
Okay.
And their father, I'm assuming it was their father, and they walked by. You don't scare me. Oh, sure, challenge accepted. And I walked up, I looked at one, I turned my attention to her sister, and I, kind of just looked her up and down, and I went, I'm going to take your little sister down to the lake, put her face first, and place my boot on her neck, and listen to her bubble and convulse until that last bubble comes out of the corner of her mouth and runs up the heel of my boot. And then it's my favorite part, that final twitch where you feel life leave their body. And then as your little sister dies under my foot, I'm going to look at you and laugh. And these two girls, their eyes are like this. And
God.
And I'm going to laugh and walk away and leave you alone. And the dad looks at me and he's like, got his hand over, and he goes, "That's her little sister." I had a 50-50 shot when I did it.
Yeah.
It was a total,
It was either, I mean, you got the win on that one.
Yeah, but I love taking somebody and just getting super dark on them.
It's one of my favorite things at haunts too, because like I love that one-on-one interaction when especially when you get really in the near deep into like that, because like it really, for me, it helps bring the vibe out. Yeah. Especially with a zone like that. That's something they would do in that zone. As far as storyline goes, those characters would be doing stuff like that. Yeah. So it works out.
Because it is that with the lake, it is that it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It is a dark version of Groundhog Day. We come out of thing, we do our procession, we do that stuff, and then we go back. Next night we come out, totally don't realize what the hell happened the night before. There's a few characters in the lake that are outside of that Groundhog Day that we actually know, but everybody else is pretty much in that state of we got to exactly.
Yeah.
And the procession is the culmination of that Groundhog Day.
Which, by the way, I talked about it like when we did a Forsaken month last year, but you guys do such a great job in that procession.
It's fun.
I love watching it every single year, no matter where. I always catch it every single night. You're not going to miss it. You get 2 showings a night. What is for you I mean, you probably have it nailed down by now to a thing, but do you ever forget it in the off season, or is there anything that's difficult for you to jump back into it again? Or
no, there's if you see it year to year, there's subtle changes like from where am I here? So what 2022? Okay. There was the swing.
Right.
That's no longer there.
Okay.
So if you watch, there's a lot. Some of the characters still do it.
Right.
So it evolves every year we go through, and to Knott's credit, the choreographers they really listen to our input as a cast, because we're vibing with the audience at that point, and it really helps. The procession is our maze. It's what brings people to the zone.
Right.
So twice a night, around 9 o'clock, around 10:30. Depending on when they do it, it's we're bringing
a nice crowd.
Yeah, we'll get hundreds and hundreds of people there.
Yeah. From all sides, from Ghost Rider to the tunnel, and even the people following you guys into the main center stage.
And it's fun. I tell you, I'm one of the things that I'm really, and I've talked with the other monsters, with my castmates. The Undertaker, the Gravedigger, and myself.
Right.
After the procession, we stand up at the mausoleum and we take pictures.
Do the photo ops, yeah. And
so everybody else, after the breaks wide, goes and leaves. We're there to hear the applause, and it's unfortunate that a lot of the other monsters don't get to hear that. Yeah. I wish they did. So it's like when we're standing up there, for me, it's like, it's very subtle. You'll see us like this, still within character, but it's when we do give you that thank you when you're applauding for us.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the times, cause I used to work on Knott's, so I know a lot of the times when they schedule breaks, especially when it comes to things like that, especially for you guys, they're either going to schedule your break before that show or after that show. Right. They need everyone on deck during the show. Yeah. So it's like you're either going on break before that and you're coming back and doing it, or you're leaving afterwards. And like you said, the zone can get dead because of that, because everybody's going to take their break.
But even at that, it's just in the choreography of the show, everybody else leaves.
Oh, yeah.
And
then to add the conductor on top of that,
and that was so the conductor.
And Sarah Marshall sometimes.
Yeah, she was coming around, and there was that relationship there. And this is one of the other things with Knott's, with them with management not only being comfortable in who they hired and trusting us, and if something works, letting us kind of go with it. Those interactions that I had with Sarah Marshall and I have with the conductor, those all grew out between the three of us.
Yeah.
That was
my favorite thing that he does, conductor. I got to get him on the show, and I love him personally. We always chat wrestling at Scared Farm. It's the funniest thing ever. He's in full-blown character talking wrestling about me. It's hilarious. But my favorite thing that he does every show is when he lifts the lantern to trigger the lightning. I love that they have included that part of the show and like all the little, because he doesn't just walk around the lake. I mean, he does that for Goring 20s when they do the jazz shows, when the Gauntlet does the slider show. Like anyone that has like a little performance, he goes and does it. And that's just, to me, with the lightning though, I think his is the best in Forsaken Lake.
And it's in that it. All that's none of that's like we don't know any of that. It's like it all comes together. It's like you don't have this big picture thing, but it all works.
It does, man. It does. And then like to have the interactions that you and him had. You guys both. Aren't you carrying the lantern for that show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are both carrying lanterns. So to see you both have lanterns, it's kind of like
there's actually a little interaction he and I have at the end of each show.
You light his flame and.
He and I. Well, we kind of joke about being ne'er-do-well brothers. It's like
there you go.
We're the evil. We're the stepbrothers of the witch.
You're the freaking. You ended up in the lake. And
Sarah Marshall's adopted children.
Adopted children, yeah. The brothers of destruction.
Right.
There you go.
But yeah, it's fun. But the going back to all that stuff it's like having that slow interaction there in the lake really helps. Really lets us explore those characters. Really lets us develop them, and it gives us. Especially now there's regulars with annual passes and things like that, we get to build, our characters get to build relationships and continue that storyline from week to week with certain people.
Take example, Ghost Town Alive. There are actually people that will keep the story of Haunt in Ghost Town alive because they know that's like the next thing. Usually they play around really well. They go, around that time I usually just pack up and get out of town because it's not a good time to be around town that time. Yeah. And just to kind of hear that during summertime, you're like, shit, we're a couple months away from that happening. Like, it gets me excited as a fan, and for those people who keep that alive year round, that's just, to me, that's unforgettable.
Knott's has a history.
Oh yeah,
Knott's has a huge history.
They are the first.
If you go to Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge has two entrances. There's the one over by that, but there's two entrances behind Big Thunder.
Right.
On the right-hand side, the right-hand entrance, there's a stagecoach.
Yes. That's been there for years, too.
It has.
Yeah.
That was a present to Walt Disney from Walter Knott.
So that's still in the park, huh?
That's still in the park.
That's awesome. That's an original stagecoach.
That is... Because Walter Knott helped Disney, Disney came to him with help.
He got the train idea from him, didn't he?
Disney always had trains. He had them in his backyard. He was a train fanatic.
Was he?
But he had asked Walter Knott some questions about amusement parks and stuff like that because Knott had already been around for 30 or 40 years prior to Disney opening in '55.
They had a few attractions and stuff,
But that's literally a present from Walter Knott.
That's awesome. Now I go back there every time. I'm gonna actually be like, that's a Knott's Berry Farm reference inside of Disneyland.
Yeah. So there's a history there that's
they probably that's probably why he wanted to do Disneyland. He probably went to places like Knott's Berry Farm and hung out, and he was like, he wanted
a place for people to hang out with their kids like that.
Yeah, he wanted a family spot for
it was Griffith Park.
Yeah, there you go, man.
But Knott's is, there's so many people that Haunt has, and I've been lucky enough now that I have people off season that come up to me now, and it's humbling. It is fucking humbling. Pardon my language. To have people that I don't know. It's like I was standing outside a Calico stage with some friends. One of the managers from Knott's, and this person walks up and she goes, "Are you the Undertaker?" And I went, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my God, I love it. Thank you, so we had so much fun. We're here," and leaves. And she looks at me. She goes, "Do you know them?" And I went, "No." And she goes, "I'm like, no, I'll." You know, it's
That's I took a friend to Knott's Berry Farm yesterday, and I told her in advance. I was like, listen, I know a lot of people that work at this park, both in the off season and in the on season, and I was like, and there's a lot of people that I know that just come to the park. So if we get stopped, I do apologize, because there's a lot of people that I do like to talk to. A lot of people like to talk to me, so I do apologize right now. I got stopped about like 3 times. A couple of haunt people that I knew, but it was nothing. Nothing. It's always a fun time to go to Knott's.
Yeah.
I love to see everyone there.
I think my favorite employee interaction was a couple of us that are haunt monsters. We were on the train, and I'm calling you out on this one, dude. Ed Cobb.
Good old Eddie.
Good old Ed. He's up there doing his snake bandit thing, and he comes back and he walks up and he looks at us and he goes, "Oh, you only work 2 months out of the year. You ain't got no money," and keeps walking.
He's hilarious, man. I mean, I talk to him every time I see him out there. I'll go say hi to him. I love Ed. Ed's a good guy.
Yeah. Been there forever.
The guy's just been doing the train bandit, though, man.
Yeah.
He loves that role,
Yeah.
man. Good for him. I mean, it's a sick role, though. You know what I mean?
It's a hard one to get into. I'd love to do it.
I was gonna say, I bet you could do a good train bandit.
Yeah.
You have fun with it.
Yeah.
You and Ed together? Oh, that'd be
See, if I
so fun.
Yeah, I mean, if I was ever to move out of the lake, if I could do it at night, it would really be a career shift for me to pull this off.
Yeah.
Would be to take the Undertaker to Ghost Town, and also to do the Undertaker and Ghost Town Alive the same, and actually transition that character.
You got a face character and then a haunt character.
Yeah.
A
To
Sarah
have it be
Marshall.
the same character.
Yeah, like a Sarah Marshall version though. Like
Yeah.
She cursed you.
Yeah.
That could be
So
awesome.
that would be
2026 maybe.
You know, wherever they want me. It's
Yeah.
it's like I said, there's a lot of people that put, the grass is always greener.
Right.
And there's zones that are iconic for their own reasons.
Yeah.
And there's reasons everybody wants. I want to be here because XYZ. I want to be there because XYZ. And there's a lot of times that we forget how good we have it where we are.
Exactly.
And I won't let myself lose sight of that.
Yeah.
I
mean, and I feel like nowadays, especially with the state of Forsaken Lake, you guys over the years, since 23, 22 even, when you first joined, that state, there's been a transitional period of just rebuilding and just making that a well-known zone. I honestly think, and this is just, I don't know anything behind the scenes, I can't tell you any truths behind this or not, this is just my opinion. I truly think that 2023 cast saved that scare zone from being on the chopping block.
I would agree with that. I think
like I said, I don't know things for sure. I don't know what corporate talks about, what the higher ups talk about, but that's what I think.
I can see where somebody would have that perception.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all replaceable. Even the conductor, myself.
Yeah.
Pick the icon character in the zone or whatever you want. Everybody's replaceable.
Bride. Glow wasn't the first bride, but she's obviously a very popular version.
Yeah.
Was it Jean before her? Yeah, and Jean was a whole completely different bride, like compared to what Glow does now.
Yeah.
Glow's a more creepier,
Yeah.
bride. Jean was out there.
That smile she gets on her face is just
it's with the candle and everything.
Yeah,
and then from everybody, what told me about Jean was just out there and loud and different. That's how she approached the bride. So it's like, everyone's gonna, the characters are always gonna be there.
Yep.
But everyone's gonna do them to their version of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You want to be different.
But at the end of the day, it's the guest that matters.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
who's paying the money to come.
Well,
to see it all.
not only that is just when we started this, you were talking about my first haunt experience.
Right.
That guy in Uncle Ernie's Madhouse in CS that grabbed my mom's hand.
Mm-hmm.
My friend from work that said my name and scared the hell out of me. They didn't know it at the time. They were training their replacements.
And that's what I always see with, for example, a kid like Torin. I always talk about Torin because he's the first kid I can think about when I think about this stuff. But Torrin is a kid who grew up going to haunt, and now this kid is like outside of last year, but the year before he was going into haunt now. He's trying to work his way up and work his way towards his dreams on being on streets and stuff. He wants to slide on streets, and when you see the generation like that who just loves this stuff, who studies this stuff.
There's kids that come to slider boot camp that are a better slider than I am. That ain't saying much, but
but you're right. No, and that's a great example. There's little kids who go to the haunts and see the slide.
Yeah.
Like as big as my leg.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying.
Yeah, they're
they're out there with pads and everything, going out and having a good time and sliding.
I mean, I didn't know Oshkosh Bagosh made pads, but hey.
You know what I mean? Like, it is insane to see, like, how
Oshkosh Bagosh, if you make pads, you owe me 10%, damn it.
10% commission. But I'm with you on that, just to see. That's always what it gets me excited about new people coming into zones and stuff. Like, okay, what are they going to add to the table that someone else hasn't, or something that I haven't seen?
Or the interaction. You don't, it's who you're running with at that time.
Right.
There's moments. I have different relationships with different characters. Our characters have different relationships with each other.
Right.
There was a beautiful picture that somebody took of me in Adelaide last year. It looked very romantic. It was like, and somebody captured like even love dies or something like that, and it went blew up. Yeah. And it's just there's the way that her and I act on stage. But going back to the guests, those are the ones that's what at the end of the day what matters. I have a young man and his mom. 2 years ago, he shows up at the mausoleum. He's got a Nobu necklace on.
Yes, I remember this story. I like this story.
And he's not necessarily invalid, but he's in a wheelchair. He's maybe 8 years old, so maybe a little bit older. He's got a Nobu necklace on, and he comes up to take a picture. And he walked up on his own. And I'm familiar with the mom and him. His dad used to be a hot monster. And I leaned down and I said, that's very brave of you to walk up here and visit us. I said, I would bet that you could turn that necklace off for 5 minutes and you would find that you're a lot more brave than you think you are. So the next weekend, this kid comes up. They had annual passes. He comes up.
Same kid
Comes up, and he points. He goes, "Look, it's off."
Oh, he remembers.
And he goes, and he hands me a bag of gummy bears. Little bag. And I just thank him. Put them off. I always say I don't have any pockets, so I got to throw it in my top hat.
Throw in the hat for later.
Hat gummy is the best thing ever. And this goes on all year. He shows up every weekend. He comes in. And he brings me gummy bears. And his mom found me on Facebook afterwards, and thank you. You did so much, and for her to take the time to figure out who I was. So fast forward to last year. He comes up the first night, and he's got a Nobu necklace on again, the new one. I said, I thought you didn't need that anymore. And he goes, it's my souvenir. And I went, and comes back the next weekend, and he's got the necklace off his neck and turned off. And he looks at me right in the face and I don't need this anymore. I walked through my first maze.
Did it.
Yeah. And he handed me that Nobu necklace.
That's awesome.
And I said, I'll make sure this goes someplace very special. So actually, I took the cat off. It's on my haunt box. And the necklace, and as much turmoil as this caused throughout the year, is on my lantern with a bunch of other stuff that other people have given me.
That's cool.
I have a whole shelf of things that people have given me over
there. The show, right?
Yeah. But there's some stuff that's very, for good or for bad, meaningful to me hanging on there.
Right.
That hangs from that lamp, and that Nobu necklace is one of them.
And isn't that something that you were and you will probably be the one monster that actually he was the one that went up to and went, I'm going to take my shot with this one. But then you gave him such a memorable experience that he kept coming back year after year, up until the point where he went through his first maze and even told you about it.
Yeah, but it's those relationships, those moments.
It's just amazing.
You know, when so like I said before, I worked for Disney for a minute, and they give you this big, you know, freaking Tolstoy orientation book, and you're going through traditions and all stuff, and they're rattling stuff off. And when I went to that, something clicked with somebody said. They said, when you have the opportunity to touch somebody's life, you take it. It's the only thing that I wrote in that entire book. There's a notebook in the back for you to write notes. Clicked. I wrote that down. And I very much, you know, that's one of those things like that I know, go back to Disney and go, this is that moment there that I heard that saying is why it's kind of ingrained in my DNA to do that.
Right.
You know, and that's what it is. It's like sometimes we're scary, sometimes we're ruthless, sometimes we're saying, you know, you walk up to a complete stranger, you tell them you're going to slit their throat and suck their Adam's apple out. You know,
and then the next guy you walked up to, it's gonna be completely different.
Right, and it's a little kid that, you know, that you're on your knees because, you know,
he's a fan.
Yeah, or he's, you know, you can tell they're scared, and you're giving knuckles to this, you know.
Yeah, calm them down a little bit.
You know, and then the next time it's some knucklehead guest that's screaming in your ear.
A drunk.
Hey, I got my bones at Bar Harbor, man. Knott's does not have drunks.
They're not as bad.
Not like Dark Harbor. Not like Bar Harbor back in the day, man. That was
like there 19 bars everywhere.
There were like 13 bars outside. There was a bar in each of the lines, a roll-up bar, and then a hidden bar in every
one or two of them in every maze. Yeah.
We used to walk around with bar tokens stuck to our forehead on street. You have any bar tokens?
No.
Okay, Sparky, you know, sending them into outhouses to go.
The fucking tokens, man. Those things are now it's pay to get some tokens instead of just getting the tokens.
Oh, I mean, everything's gotten.
It's okay. I mean, I got a poker set full of them, so I'm ready to go for next year.
You know, the funny thing with the tokens, and it's one of the things I will never. And any monsters want to chime in on this one, go for it. I'd love to hear the answers. Monsters, you give them one of those tokens instantly.
Yep.
And there was one of the sliders, the Queen Mary sliders. I found one from Lullaby, like in the bottom of an old box, and I showed them that I had it. And the first thing they did was take it and put it on. I'm like, that has been in a box since 2019.
I think there's one on my fridge right there. There's probably a B341 right there. I got another one on my car.
I'm just like,
I just find them every now and then. I'm like, it's almost like a little game for me.
This thing was at the bottom of my haunt box from Dark Horror. It's like, you just put that in your mouth and it's got herpetogonosyphilis on it. I'm like,
everything.
Yeah. I'm like, what is our upset? And I'm guilty of it too. I love like the stuff that grosses. Like I don't know if you ever. I will take like fishing worms like this.
Okay.
So I was. At the end of 2019, at the end of that year, the Queen Mary, the host for the Queen Mary Slider shows, he retired.
Okay.
And I was supposed to take his place.
Got you.
He was a magician by the name of Draven.
Okay.
He taught me to put a nail into my nose.
That's not the guy that. Is that the guy that used to staple money on himself?
No, that was Dangerous D.
I've met him a handful of times. He's funny.
Yeah,
he's cool.
Draven's more of a magician.
Okay.
Anyway, he taught me that trick. So I'm very conscious of what can go in and out of my schnoz.
Okay.
I will take, not the little ones that you see, like the ones like that, and I will inhale that thing all the way down, so just the tips hanging out. And I'll walk around, and people, I got a guy last year, he like offered me French fries, and I went, pulled that whole thing out. It was dripping snot. I said, no, thank you. I just, and just put it in my, it's like we shove shit in our nose, in our mouth. It's,
dude, trust me, I've seen some stuff pre-COVID and even post-COVID, and I'm just like...
Mental floss.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always...
That's always a good one.
I loved it when that one year in Forsaken Lake Cheyenne did the fucking rope down the vine down the throat.
Yeah.
And it went really well with it. But like kind of like seaweed kind of thing. I was like, that's nasty, but that's so cool. It works.
Taco, he always loves handing out crickets and grasshoppers. I got somebody to pop with one of his grasshoppers all over the lake. I was just, they're like, what's that? And I go, it's a grasshopper. And like, what's that? I said, no, it's breakfast. And just, and you heard it, and instantly this Bugs Bunny green line shot up, and it just. I'm glad they turned their head. That was, yeah.
So now with 2025 abroad, are we? I mean, I know things are going. Auditions have already passed. You probably already know where you're going. I'm not gonna ask you where you're gonna go because legally I can't do that. Legally, there's NDAs and stuff. What I'm gonna ask you is, can we expect you back somewhere this season?
I will be back at a haunt somewhere this season.
This season, okay. Yeah. That's all I want to know. Legally, I know NDAs, wherever that haunt may be, I don't know, but
I'll be totally honest. I don't even know at this point.
He don't even know. But
I will be somewhere in some fog.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
You make it work every single season. That's something you just love doing, though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's fun, and at this point in my career, I look at it as like I like to think that I'm influencing the next generation.
Oh, 100%.
Trying to hopefully not pass bad habits on to them.
I see a lot of people go up to you. I hear a lot of people talk about you in very positive ways, especially like guidance within Forsaken Lake and stuff like that. So that's really good.
Well, I'll tell you, we're really lucky as a zone in Forsaken. And once again, not anything wrong with any other zone there, but I'm just most familiar with that one. That we're very lucky to have a noticeable lack of egos.
Yes.
In our zone.
I've noticed that. Everybody works very well together.
Right.
Everybody can just go zoom off each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
And it doesn't, for the most part, it doesn't carry backstage, and I'm willing to out there. It's like we have a really, really good team.
Yeah.
Even in the off season, there's a lot of us in the off season that hang out together. Mm-hmm. It's just we're really lucky to have what we got, and
I'm excited to see what's gonna happen this year for Not Scary Farm in general. Now that we're talking to Not Scary Farm, because like they're always the most secretive when it comes to announcing the very last minute. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what's coming this year, who's coming back this year, who's going where this year.
Well, it's all of them. It's everybody's. One of the things that David Wally instilled in the cast at Dark Harbor was to be kind to other haunts. To, even if you had a problem with one, to not say anything bad, because at the end of the day, every haunt monster suffers from battered wife syndrome.
Yep.
If you've done it long enough, you've been punched, you've been kicked, you've been groped, you've been told, somebody's called your mom this, somebody's called your dad this. We've all gone, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only people that can relate to it are other haunt monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's somebody that's, I got friends at Universal, I've got friends at Hayride, I've got friends at the car wash, I've got, and we can all identify with each other. But it's the nice thing, going back to think about Southern California being this hub for Halloween.
And we didn't even talk about independent haunts, home haunts. Like,
high desert. There's so many.
There's so much out there, dude.
Castle, name it. But it's a different flavor. Like I said, the vaudeville thing. If you, I could walk around Horror Nights, and not have them. There could not be a monster there, and I would still have a good time just looking at what the production value of that thing is.
I'm a big fan of all that stuff too.
The time that goes into it. The Dark Harbor, having the history of that ship there and being able to play on that, it's a hell of a palette to have to paint with.
Yeah.
Not
Scary Farm's history of the haunts. They started it all.
Yeah, they were the granddad. Hayride. Hell, I used to lead trail rides up in Griffith Park during the day. That's frightening enough. Forget nighttime. So everybody's everybody's got their own flavor, and I don't think that any one haunt in the Los Angeles area would be as successful if it weren't for everybody else. And it's the same thing with Scary Farm and Dark Harbor. There's nothing that we can create alone that is going to be better what we can make together.
Right.
There's a quote from the Steppenwolf Theater Company in Chicago. It's on my Instagram. I post it every year. But it's to that end. That which we create together is great. Always going to be greater than what we create alone, and that's really it. There's no INT amount how many different ways it's been said.
I know, and honestly, dude, like, just to kind of see, you know, we go back to like the future of the industry as well. You know what I mean? And it's like we you know, QM Sliders are hosting the boot camps, and just to see all the kids showing up for that, just to because they are fans of it, they want to prepare themselves. You know, they want to get to know sliding now, so by the time they get to that age, they kind of already have it mastered down as best as they can to audition. But there are people that you know, that I constantly see as far as like, especially like the monsters characters and everything, that will get stopped and be like, hey, yeah, I'm a fan of what you guys do over there. I'm a fan of what you guys like, what you guys did. You actually inspired me to want to audition and all this stuff.
I had a monster last year. I was walking backstage. It was the end of the night. I was going back towards Warehouse P, where we go get it in and out of costume. And this young lady, going back to that, when you have the opportunity to touch somebody.
Yeah.
This young lady comes up behind me. She goes, hey, she goes, can I talk to you? Daddy, can I talk to you? Stop. She goes, I just want you to know that last year, you and I had an interaction on stage, your character and I. And that made me want to go out and be a hot monster. And I went out and auditioned, and I'm here because of that interaction. And I thank you. You know, how the fuck do you respond to that? You know, it's like, sorry, but it was like, right, talk about right in the feels. I mean, that I have one feeling, and she found it.
Dude, I've heard the same thing with, like, for example, a couple of people that have gone on to do podcasts similar to mine, and they go, I don't think I would have had the idea to do what I do if I didn't watch yours. Right. And I'm like, that again, it's like, how do you respond to that? You don't know how to, because like I never looked at myself as being an inspiration or anybody, but I just wanted, honestly, when I started doing this podcast, I wanted to do it for my own selfish reasons, to know what was going on behind the scenes, you know, like.
In my head, to quote a friend of mine, I'm just some dude in makeup. You know, it's, you know, that's
just to do with the camera, man.
I'm just, you know, I'm having fun. Hopefully, I'm sending you to Kohl's to buy new underwear in the morning, or you know, it's
something, man.
Yeah, you know, you have that experience, or you know, you're leaving. You know, I've inspired you to get closer to your partner there, or I've wrecked your marriage, or you know, I've affected your life in some way, shape, or form, good or bad. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just like I said, it's the guests, you know.
It is.
And you never know.
Yeah. That being said, what is something you would like to tell the next generation of Haunt Monsters, Haunt characters? Like, what is some advice you'd want to give them going into it, especially if they're coming into this world brand new?
Oh, God, I could write a book. One, walk away. Walk away. No, it's never going to end well. If there's something where it's escalated, walk away.
Walk away.
Your night's going to end better. Period. I just let it go. Water off a duck's ass. You know, let them be miserable. Don't doubt yourself.
Okay.
With Dark Harbor, it's about 5,000 back in the day. Knots can be 25, 30, maybe. 1,000 people that come there. And there's a ton of people that go, oh, that looks like it'd be a cool job. And there's a small fraction that actually look into how to do it. There's a smaller fraction that actually get up and sign up for auditions. And there's a smaller fraction that actually show up for auditions. And there's a smaller fraction that actually make it.
Yeah.
And that's you. You're there. Somebody saw that in you. Trust it.
Yeah.
You know, even if you don't trust yourself at that moment, you know, reach out, ask questions. You know.
I agree 100%, because especially with how many people are very approachable in this community, as far as like, if you have questions, come up to me, because I've probably been through it. You know what I mean? It's like, especially like you're very open with that at boot camp. Like, if you guys got questions, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, anything haunt related auditions, anything, come talk to me. I can give you pointers.
Yeah, like if you got to walk up to me and ask me, hey, what color is the Green Witch? Come up and ask me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I may look at you a little bit funny and go.
But we'll have a conversation about it.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like, it won't be negative. It's like, well, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like I've seen it firsthand at the rink where you're having conversations with people on the side, talking to them about character work, talking to them about, hey, this person was nervous about auditions. What can you do? Or we're just working on them on like, hey, I have this character, but I'm stuck here. What do you think I can do? And then I hear you work with them. So it's like I see it constantly, man. And you do that on top of the interactions you have on the streets, man. It is second to none when it comes to not only just being a monster, but also being the scare actor behind the monster, but also being the human behind the monster. So it's like you are doing your job to the absolute best of your ability, and not only that, not only are you inspiring people, but you're actually getting people to come out of their shells. Talk about that little boy who gave you the Nobu necklace. You know what I mean? That's like a 2-3 year story right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at all those evolutions of like taking the picture, then talking with you more, then giving you the next, like, I went into a maze. Yeah. Like, it's a 3-year journey.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised in 5 more years we see him on the damn lake.
Yeah, it is.
Scaring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there are people, there are people that it's, like I said with that young lady that, we see, oh, this is what I want to do, that, that come as guests going, oh, we have a young lady this year that's going into Forsaken Lake that she sat there as a guest. And that's what I want to do. I want to be in Forsaken Lake. I want to be in Forsaken Lake. And
there she is.
Yeah.
And now we're living in a world where opportunities for scaring are becoming year round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are so many doors open to this world now compared to what there used to be. You know what I mean? Like, you look back at like the Knott's audition process, people used to have to camp out.
Yeah,
now it's like a whole,
it was.
Instead of pick a time and show up, you know what I mean? It's like, it's insane how much things have changed, but I feel like sometimes change isn't the worst. You know what I mean? Like, there could be some good change with it as long as that.
Well, it's always going to change,
Yeah.
And it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
And our assumption is it's always going to be bad. It's going to be horrible. Yeah, I can control what's in this circle. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like I said, wherever they put me, that's where I'm going to be. Wherever I end up, that's good. I'm not in the results game.
Yeah.
When I tried to be in the results game and trying to control everything in my life, I ended up at the bottom of a bottle, and that doesn't work for me.
Right.
So that behavior, I've just
cut it all out. I mean, you guys have an outstanding cast. Last year, you guys had an outstanding cast. I would go through many, many times. Sammy would even love going through Forsaken Lake a lot. It's incredible.
Well,
to
I've
see.
known, yeah. Her and I go back further than you and I.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just been incredible to see what you guys can do in the lake and whatnot, and what you guys are able to accomplish as a team every single year. And you guys make the most out of it, and I think that's what makes you guys a strong zone every single year, and proving to people that if you put in the work, you can avoid the chopping block too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I truly think in 2023 that was going to be a silent last year for Forsaken Lake.
It might have been. It's
But you guys saved it, hands down.
Like I said, there's a lot of talk in the cast at that point that idea. Nobody knows. You're 100% right. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
It woulda, coulda, shoulda.
They could come out in public and tell us no, and behind the scenes it could be a whole different story.
Yeah.
But again, we will never truly know.
Yeah.
What matters is it's still here today, and that's final. So that's good. What is your favorite horror movie? There's a wide variety of it. I know I just kind of switched the topics on.
Oh, my favorite horror. Well, okay. My favorite movie, period.
Okay.
Is Vertigo.
Okay.
Alfred Hitchcock. I love Alfred Hitchcock. I would, yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock is the king of suspense.
Especially his old stuff. The Lady Vanishes, 39 Steps, Man Who Knew Too Much, all that old British stuff, the black and white. That's the fun stuff.
All you got to say is one movie in general, too, and it's just Psycho. The one that always people talk about, but like, I know it's his most famous movie, but damn, just how simple that movie was shot and how freaking.
I'll tell you, I will put Vertigo against Psycho any day.
Okay.
As far as just fun to watch.
Oh yeah. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour.
So as far as horror movies,
Okay.
I'm not young. I remember watching Alien on TV when it came out on cable.
Yeah.
When I wasn't supposed to. I have actually stood and talked to Cassandra Peterson about sneaking downstairs out of my bedroom to watch her on Channel 5.
As Elvira.
As Elvira.
Yep.
And we talked about the fact that I probably went through puberty watching her on Channel 5. And she put her hand on my shoulder and she goes, "Sweetie, a lot of boys went through puberty watching me."
A lot of boys did.
God bless that woman. She is incredible.
Yeah.
However, horror movies. When I was a little boy, my girlfriend at the time lived on Terminal Island.
Okay.
This is 14 years old before I moved back to New Mexico. About 15 years old. Anyway, their parents owned a marine salvage place.
Okay.
So the whole back is like the back end of Terminal Island. It's a container farm now.
Yeah.
But they used it to film movies. They filmed Turner and Hooch down there.
Okay.
They filmed a whole bunch of videos in this old dirigible hangar that they have. But one of the other movies that they filmed down there was a movie called Ford Fairlane.
Okay.
The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, starring Andrew Dice Clay, Priscilla Presley. And do you remember who the...
Priscilla Presley.
Yes, I was...
Priscilla
Another great
Presley.
moment. Getting to see Priscilla Presley in a leather
Yep.
teddy when I was in my teens. But do you remember the other person that was in that movie?
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that one. I think I've only seen it one time too because my grandpa had it on.
A very young actor by the name of Robert Englund.
Robert Englund, yeah, that's right.
So
You know what's funny is actually you brought that up now. I was watching an interview with him. He was doing a press junket for Nightmare 3. And he was on the news, and the girl was like, "I looked at you in your makeup," and I think he does talk about. He goes, "This is a lot different than what I've done." He goes, "I'm in a makeup chair for like 4 or 5 hours." He goes, "Prior to what I was doing to that," he goes, "I wasn't in a makeup chair this long, so this is all new for me."
yeah, he did V. He was
Yeah.
played a good. But yeah, meeting Freddy Krueger in 1980. It's that was it. But yeah, Freddy is definitely my favorite horror. Yeah, because just because once again, I love to run my mouth on stage, and if you want to watch a horror movie, that dude, just the constant flow of bullshit.
So this right here was from, I actually met a teacher at the school I used to work at, and he's a massive horror fan, and he actually he used to make these claws from scratch.
Nice.
So this is actually one that he made me from scratch, and it's actually size to Robert Englund's hand and everything. So it's like
Should send it to him. He'll autograph it.
he probably will.
That dude autographs anything. I think.
Honestly, I want to see it. It would be hard to go to convention with it, obviously.
Yeah.
Because of
It's real. Yeah.
It's real blades and everything. He sharpens the blades, everything like that. But I would love for him to sign. If he could sign that, that'd be the mecca of like,
you talk about things that make a character and how they're accidental or on purpose, and there's a lot of stuff that has become part of my persona, part of Bastion's persona, that just happened organically.
Mm-hmm.
The Freddy standing that off-center stance,
yeah,
is because the glove was so damn heavy,
yeah,
that it hit. That's
It
the only way
actually made
you
him,
can stand,
like
that
comfortably.
yeah.
Actually, yeah. So it's insane to see. They've been trying to get him back to do another one. We'll see if it happens. Jason Blum of Blumhouse thinks he can make it happen, but we'll see.
It'll see. It's not exactly a spring chicken anymore, but
Blumhouse. Yeah. I always tell people Blumhouse, their movies are really good or they're really shitty.
Yeah.
There's no middle.
I've developed a slight affinity for Jordan Peele stuff.
Jordan Peele, I love Jordan Peele stuff.
He's got a really good sense of comedy coming from his other genre. Saw, the Saw movies, I love
Saw 10.
Yeah, the mental the how the story arc. I mean, it's like when you got it after for those of us that didn't get a chance to binge them and you had to wait in between.
Yeah.
And you went and saw, and then you get to like Saw 3 or Saw 4, and you realize that these guys had written this story arc.
Yeah.
And it's going even further down there.
It's insane because I think with Saw too, it's such a diverse film of just such vast storytelling, and I always tell that to people. I'm like, do you think that John Kramer is actually a bad guy? Because if you really pay attention to all those movies, everyone that he's killing has done shitty shit.
Yeah.
And he's giving him a second chance
He's a
at life.
vigilante.
Yeah.
It's,
but they made him like a horror character, which I thought was
well. To me, the blood and the slasher aspect of it is at very least secondary.
Yeah.
It's much more, how ugly these people are.
Yeah. It's just like for me, especially like that's why I'm assuming you saw 10.
Mm-hmm.
I actually very much enjoyed Saw 10 because I liked the whole marketing of this is his most personal game yet, and the whole aspect of him going to this treatment, thinking he was going to get this treatment, it was all fucking scam and bullshit. Yeah. Then he put on his most personal, and then you realize, oh, that's why it's so personal, because I was like, why is he in Mexico? At first I was like, that's a dumb decision. What are we doing? But then I was like, okay, it makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah,
but it's great. And Tobin Bell.
So I actually got to meet him.
He seems like such a nice person.
He is. Some of his other work is just, everybody knows him most for Kramer, but yeah, some of his other work is just incredible.
I like him as in The Flash. He voiced Professor Zoom or Mr. Zoom or something like that. He was like a black version of the Flash, but his voice was just, oh god.
Oh, there's so many people that do voice.
Huh?
There's so many people that do voice actor.
I know, but like his, because he's got that recognizable voice. It's like, oh my god.
I did that. I was walking through Knott's, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and this lady in front of me turns around, she goes, "Are you the Undertaker?" I was like, "What?
How do you know that?
How do you? I know. I recognize your voice.
Are you the Undertaker?
Are you the Undertaker?" Dong.
I know, right? And he's freaking just gonna have all the music coming out and everything. So, where can people find you on social media if they want to keep up with you?
It is on Instagram, _Brat Prince. If you've ever read any of the Vampire Chronicles, yes, that Brat Prince.
I love the name.
Yeah, it's.
But sometimes I'll drop the R and say just Bat Prince because it's just like a lot of times I'm like, oh, it's Brat Prince.
Yeah, it's the Brat Prince. There's an underscore in between it.
Instagram, and like you said, people are cool to like.
If you wanna message me if you need help, as far as that goes, it's getting into that season. I don't care if you're working at a home haunt or if you're working, Universal or whatever. If I can't help you, you and I, we've got. Yeah. It's not even connection. We've got friends.
Yeah, we have so many people and friends that we know that probably can answer your questions because there are people that have worked different places that probably can answer the question that you're looking for. So
yeah,
but usually you're pretty good. You usually have a lot of answers for a lot of people. So it's really good. But honestly, I'm so excited to see where you go this haunt season. I'm excited to see what you do this haunt season. Whatever you do is second to none.
I'm not tell you. I had a kid that at the rink the other night. It's just, and he did it to me. He was like, "Well, you're like the face of Forsaken. You're like the guy in Forsaken." I'm like, "No, there isn't any the guy."
Yeah. There's like everyone. I feel like within that 2023 year, everyone made sure they were known.
Yeah.
And they're on forward. Going forward, it remained that way. So, I love the fact that everyone is stand out in Forsaken. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, the funny and I hate to say this to you, but you've said it a couple times.
What did
I gotta show you this. It's so the arrogance in me, the Leo in me.
I'm a Leo too.
Second to none.
Second to none. Second to none.
Second to none.
There you go.
I'm a arrogant freaking Leo.
We're Leos. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's my spotlight. Damn it.
When's your birthday?
August 15th.
August 13th. Yeah. 2 days apart. Yeah, so it's me, then you, then Hunter.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, it's hilarious.
My
cousin actually that you saw in the room when you first came, his birthday's August 15th.
Nice.
So
if I'm gonna be 29 this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna be part of the 27 club this year. Yeah. Don't catch a red lighter in my.
I'm gonna be 29 this year. I'm gonna be 29 next year. I'm gonna 29 again.
Age is all just a number. It's how you feel in here, and it's how you feel in here. That's what I always tell people. Yeah. My buddy Rob, he always complains about his age because he's getting older too, and he's like,
this many.
Yeah, and I was like, Rob, it's all in here, buddy.
Yeah,
it's all in here. Daddy, I so excited to see what you do this season. Cannot wait to see what you do this season. Make sure you follow him on the gram. He'll let you know immediately when he knows and when he can tell you of where he'll be, so you can go see him this season. A great pleasure. We got some things in the works that you're going to stay tuned for. You're going to hear his voice a lot more on the channel. So there's some good stuff in the works, man.
Interesting.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned. We love each and every one of you. Stay spooky. And for God's sake, clean up your mess at the rink. That's just a PSA I have to throw out there. Y'all have a great night.